Nobody in here yet, but just thought I'd pop on live here while I'm doing this. I don't know how long I'm going to be working on this, but I'm alive. I know I haven't posted videos in a while. I made a post on Facebook about that. I had a little medical hiccup and had to have a little procedure done there to do some testing and see where I'm at. But it's got me out, had me out of commission for a while. But today's Monday. I had it done on Friday. I'm tired of laying around the house, so I went out and got a chance to finally do some fishing Tuesday there before I had my procedure done on Friday, and I broke the collar on my trolling motor again. The Trinova, it's a good trolling motor, but it's got one fatal flaw, and that's a steering column right here. I don't know if you can see that. Move that. There's a steering column right here. Right there's the problem, the fatal flaw on these. And what happens is you have your motor in there, and the head of your motor, the bottom of your motor's, facing like so, and you'll come up and you'll hit a stick or something under the water, you won't see it, and it's just plastic, and it pushes on it and it snaps at piece. And I buy them in packages of 6 because I seems like I got to replace one about every couple of months. About every 3 months I break one, and they're just cheap plastic. All they are, just a little cheap plastic fitting. But you got to take the entire thing apart. You got to take the head of the trolling motor. All right, you got to take the shaft, take the head off, take the shaft out, take the lift assist off, and then you get to your motor. And I've gotten to where I can change these out without taking this motor off now. I've just done it so much. I've learned little things about it. But yeah. But yeah, I'm still alive. I heard a couple people want to know what's going on, why I ain't post no videos. Basically, I found out I was going to have this done about the middle of October. Well, about the beginning of October. And it's usually a busy time of year for my carpet cleaning and whatnot. And the guide starts picking up, with the fall crappie bite and whatnot. And I was trying to get I knew I was going to be out of commission for 3 to 6 weeks from being able to work. So I was trying to get everybody in before the holiday that I knew wanted to be done. And then also get stuff done here around the house before winter that needed to be done, whatnot that needed to be done. So I just I went fishing like from September 14th until last Tuesday, a week ago. I hadn't been on the water, so. But, and of course I go out and I break something. But I'm doing pretty good after my little deal. I haven't said too much about what's going on yet, because quite frankly, there's no sense in talking about it until I know for sure, yes, this is what's going on, or no, it's not. I'm going to be fine. So rather than worry a bunch of people and whatnot, and keep everybody guessing, but it's got me slowed down right now. I'm not able to do too much. I do something for about 10-15 minutes, and then I got to go lay down for a while, sit down and relax. But if you know me, you know I don't set. I'm not a setter. I'm always fiddling with something, and I see it all. I got all these things I want to do and get done, and whatnot. It just drives me nuts not being able to do anything. I'm not supposed to lift anything over 10 pounds. And there's a bunch of stuff, restrictions. So it's keep me from doing everything I want to do, but it's not going to stop me from doing everything. I'm going to figure out a way to do a few things, but yeah. So that's what I've got going on. And when I get out on the water, I'm going to. It's just a matter of being able to. Right now, I don't think I could even get the boat hooked up by myself, without hurting myself. So there's no sense in even trying it. And I definitely can't. I couldn't be out on the water getting banged around anyway. They basically what they done is a biopsy to look at some stuff, and so they did a lot of poking and prying on my insides. So I'm not moving too fast, but I can fiddle far around. When I get tired, I just go sit down. Go lay down, take a nap. Luckily, I've done this thing. I've taken this thing apart so much and put it back together. I could probably faster than the little Chinese dudes they got putting them together in a factory anyway. I think I've had this motor on here now for 2 years. A little over 2 years, almost 3. And I think I put probably a dozen of these collars on. I've rebuilt the motor assembly twice. So I pretty well got it down to where it isn't that bad. It takes a little finessing on a couple things, but overall it just comes right apart pretty easy, really, once you get it figured out. But then of course you got to get in. Every now and then you need a little persuasion. But the biggest thing is getting this motor. You got to get this top cover off of this motor. Well, you can't take this top cover off without taking all this apart. And you can't get to all the damn screws without taking the motor bracket off. And I've threatened several times just to leave that one off. They've got these lock washers that slide on smooth shafts. They're like a star washer. I don't know what the hell they call them. They're a pain in the butt's what they are. And it's got to go off a certain way. It can't go off any other way. The only nice thing is I've done this so much that I pretty well can do this in my sleep, The biggest thing is not to get rammy with it. And if you know me, that's 90% of how I fix stuff. All else fails, you get a bigger hammer. So this part of it, it tends to make me go a little bit there, a little bit down. It's got one of them these little star washer things, and they go on that shaft. That's what holds that shaft in there, so the shaft don't move around. I know for a fact that I can buy all those little star washer things at Perry at the lumber yard. He's got a big selection, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to take it all the way out. I just got to get one out is the problem. It's got a bushing. If it wasn't for this one screw, I wouldn't even have to take it out. I gotta go get a punch. I thought I'd done that with a screwdriver last time. Pretty sure I fit. There it is. I thought I did that screwdriver. Just gotta get it to move a little bit. Come on. Everything, it's got to fight me a little bit here. I just can't get too physical with it. Normally I just yank it right out of there. I don't really have the guts to be doing that today. Sean, if you watch this, you bought that Trinova. Place that power drive. I suggest you go on YouTube and find a good video you like. I'm on here. There we go. Yeah. Sean, since you bought that, I'll just tell you now, you need to. There it is. Go find you a good video, or just bring it up here if it happens, and we'll do it. But if you can see that in there, right there, the screw. And that shaft runs through and blocks you from being able to get to that darn thing. It'd be nice if I could get to that without doing that. I'm gonna pair of pliers. How many people got it? 3, okay. What about comments? Is there any comments? Oh, Storm Raider Diddy Party. No, this ain't a Diddy Party. We're gonna do Diddy. Ain't nothing about me Diddy. Don't like it crap anyway. Oh, I gotta get that pliers. Alright. Yeah, get this out of there. We're on our way. I mean, they've got like 9 or 10 screws holds this thing together. I could probably get by without putting it in, but just to make it easier to change out next time. I tell you, I know I got one I broke. When they put these in, they put that Loctite on there. I don't know what kind it is, where they get it at. They're using the factory, but my God. And it's stainless steel going into aluminum. So I think they put anti-seize on it, but they don't. When you first take them out that first time, boy, you want to make sure you got your Allen key in the right size and whatnot. It's a 9/32 Allen, and your standard size, like I have fancy ones, you know, with the handles on them, you know, and they come in these big sets like this, you know, standard metric, and it don't have a 9/32. I had to go buy one of the little cheap case ones, you know, that come with a little plastic deal, and you hold them in order to get the right sizes, in order so I get sizes, because some of them need half sizes on. But most of this is 9/32. if you just take your time, don't get in a big hurry, it actually goes pretty good. And when you put this thing back together, it's got a rubber O-ring that goes all the way around that casing for keep moisture out of it. So you gotta, by the time you think it's tight, it's not. And it's one of them deals, if you've ever worked with stuff like that, when you think you're tight enough, you better stop. Because if you just go a hair past what's tight, once it is tight, you'll break that stainless steel bolt off, or you'll strip it out or something, because they're not real heavy duty. All you gotta do is get it tight enough that it keeps that rubber seal so water won't get in. And I mean, for me, I don't fish in the rain. I don't really get out in the rain. I don't leave my boat out in the rain. So I could probably not worry about that too much. And I don't, when I'm in rough water, a lot of times I'm carrying the nose and it don't get too wet anyway. I mean, these motors are outrageous anyway. So I just make sure when I put it back together, you get it back together right. That way, you don't want to get water in there and short something out, or corrosion, and you got to take it back apart, and because it stopped working because it's got corrosion in it, because it's got water in there. Not to mention, these things are like, sound like weed eaters anyway when they're turning. That's what amazed me more on live scope, on watching the fish. They don't pay no attention to the prop turning on this trolling motor. It can be a foot over the top of their head. They don't pay no attention to it. But that motor, that turn motor on here, turns that thing, makes that head, man, that scares them quick. They don't like it. They know what that is, and it ain't natural at all. I guess they get enough prop wash and they hear enough props going that they don't pay no attention to a prop. But man, they don't like that turn motor at all. And I fished over every one of the trolling motors. I've had motor guides, the XI5, power drive was on. Dad had power drive on his boat for a while. He got Altera on the new boat. He put an Altera on the other boat. We took the power drive off and put an Altera on it. I fished with a friend of mine. He's got the fancy bass boat, the glitter bomb, and you know, he's got the he had an Ultrex, and he got a new boat, and it had a Lowrance, I think they're called a Ghost, on it, and that's probably the quietest one. And then he decided he wanted a Garmin. And now he's got a Garmin on it. And I fished over all of them. And I know one thing for a fact, my next one will be a Garmin. I would get a Lowrance, I think it's called the Ghost. I think it's probably the quietest one. That just lifts up off there, and then you got a bushing. You got all these gears. You want to make sure they stay put. Push them back down, whatever you got to do. Then you got this shaft, and then you got a bushing that holds that in. It's just a pressure bushing. You can see there, I just took it out. It sits in there like that. And it's got all these, it's got all of them on top. So you just take that out, drop a new one on top of it. And everything just goes right back in. Best way to do this put it in this shaft like that. I put my rubber gloves on. Or get a towel. I get some grease too. So. Alright, up my grease, got my towels. Alright, that together. What I like to do is take some ring grease. This is actually Yamaha, but hey, it don't matter what it is as long as it's ring grease. I like to put a little grease on there just to make sure everything slides good. Same way on the gears while I'm in there. It kind of cuts down on that runt sound. Just put a little tab on there. That's all you gotta do. It don't take, you gotta put like 16 pounds of grease. You gotta pack it in there. You just want a little bit on there. Yeah, it's got a little grease on there here. See it? See, I just put a little bit on there. A little bit around here. That way everything slides good. Kind of check it. Make sure there's nothing rubbing or anything. And you just got to pop the cap back on, put screws back in, put it all back together. It's not an overly hard system to figure out. Like I said, you do want to try to make sure it's all tight. Moves, it's locked up. Now it's just a matter of putting screws back in, putting it back together. Easy peasy. Somebody might type something. Got here. Magic Rooster. Thanks for the fishing videos. This mild weather will start deer season. He'll be thinking I should have been fishing instead. Yeah. You know, I haven't. I quit hunting years ago. To me, hunting was one of them things. I didn't mind it, but you know, I liked it, but if I didn't hunt everything, what I mean by that is if I didn't deer hunt, bow hunt, then rifle hunt, and then muzzle load, and stay into it, you know, start out the year squirrel hunting as soon as squirrel season opened, and you know, doves and ducks. And if I didn't keep doing it, hunting everything, it was hard for me just to go deer hunt or just to go duck hunt. You know, I used to hunt. I didn't miss very many days of duck and goose season, and of course we hunt green wing teal in September. You know, green and blue wing and doves. But I don't have a dog anymore to hunt with, and I'm too old, too fat to be tromping around in waders all day long. I bought a little. I was going to get back into duck hunting and stuff here about 4, 5, 6 years ago, and I bought a little 12-foot boat, a little 2.5 horse motor, put on it. I still had some decoys. One time I had about 30 dozen goose decoys. I probably had 20, 25 dozen duck decoys. And of course I had for goose, I had shells and floaters and everything, you know, layout blinds. I got geese in front of some decoys out there. I got in front of my house and my landscaping I used to use to hunt with. They're about 4 foot long, great big shells. And then I had a couple layout blinds for fields, and it just, I didn't hunt for about 4 or 5 years, and you know what, I didn't really miss it. I already got a deer this year, and I didn't even have to get up and go get it or take it to the locker. I didn't have to get up early. I didn't have to shite my gun in and buy shells. And I got friends that like to hunt, and I tell them get me a couple deer or whatever, and they take and they shoot them and even take them to the locker, and all I do is just, locker calls me and I go pick them up when they're done. We usually get the loins done and get all the rest of it put in burger. Well, that one don't feel right. I wonder if that one goes in the other. Like I said, I know that one don't get one in it. Tight, tight, tight. Why are you not going down? There's that one. Now you're on the turn. Got it in a bind somehow. Something gets in a bind with this. You just don't want to. No sense in rushing it. So what happens is I think it gets cockeyed. And it won't tighten anymore. And you try to force it. And you bust these little thin, long screws. I haven't tried to get another one. I need to get one, but but they're little, they're longer than hell. They're longer than hell, little bitty things. And I twisted one off and broke it the first time I done it. So I don't have one to go in that hole. And I couldn't get the end of it out anyway that broke. So, and I get it tight. I can get it tight enough that it's not getting water. It compresses on that O-ring, keeps water out. So I haven't really worried about it too much. I keep threatening to buy another set of these and cut the end off of it so I can put it in a drill. But I know as soon as I do that, I'll end up over tightening it or something. So I would suggest not using a drill with a long Allen bit doing this. I'd say do it by hand, because you don't want to break these off, because then you can buy these motor assemblies and you ain't got to do it, you buy the whole new motor, but then you still got to open it up because you got to change out where the electrical hooks up to it. You got to take and get in that motherboard. And the motor assembly, I want to say they're like $119 is all this motor assembly is. Now that head, that's what's expensive. That's where your GPS is and your control module, all that stuff. But the rest of these parts are super cheap. These collars, these little plastic collars I'm having to replace, they're $6 is all these little plastic pieces. And I'll show you, you can see right here how it broke. See right there. That originally looked like that. You can see how it just snapped. And they're just plastic. It's cheap plastics, all it is. It's not even fiberglass reinforced. You know, if they would, I'd rather pay $20 for one and never have to replace it if they would just reinforce it with carbon fiber or make it out of aluminum. You know, I'd love to find somebody that was a machinist that worked somewhere, had access to a CNC scanner and CNC machine, because I have blocks of aluminum here, T6061 aircraft grade aluminum, 2x2 blocks, 3 foot long. I've got them, and where I could give them one of these, and they could take and scan it and then put it in a CNC and cut me some aluminum ones. And the bottom one, it's got a collar on the bottom too, but it's just a sleeve. Kind of reminds me of a straight PVC connector, you know, on the bottom side. And I'd have him definitely do this top one. Make some aluminum ones. And I've looked online and nobody makes them. You know, usually if there's a problem like this and the company don't have a solution for it, somebody will come out and go, you know what, I can make a better mousetrap than that, and they'll make a fix for it. But so far I haven't seen where anybody's done that. That's back together. So now put this back. In place. Go. And what I found on these little washers, this little star washer thing that I took off of there, when I bought these, I bought about a dozen of them, so I'm gonna go grab a new one. And a socket works great for putting them on. I found a 12mm socket. Works really good for putting these things on. After you get it started, that's the thing. You got to get it. You got to get it started. Let's see here. I need a piece of electrical tape. A piece of electrical tape goes a long ways. What I found is you take out a 12mm socket, it fits it perfect. You put that washer in there and set that on that piece and then bang on it and then get it started with that. Works really good. As long as you can get it lined up. It's not the easiest damn thing to do. And it's because it's just in a bad spot. Clamp. Clamp. Go in the house and get one. Thought I had one out here, I didn't. That's the hardest part right here. Getting this dang washer to go on there. Once it starts, it's easy. It's just getting it started, a nightmare. I bent that one. Let's try the skin. One that is bent. Oh, there it went. That's how it usually goes too. When they go on, they go right on. Alright. Perfect. There's that now. Yeah. Good. Now for the part that's the biggest pain in the butt there is, right here. Best way I find to do this is a real long screwdriver. Get her poked down in there. And you know those pliers work pretty good. Yep. Dip down in there. Okay. Now we can put our shaft back in. This can be a little tricky. What I recommend when you do that is this is your collar for your lift assist, goes on the bottom of it. I recommend to take it off, all the way off. Make sure you use a pair of vice grips. That way you can get that out of the way. And then before you try to put that shaft back in, put this back on. You don't have to put it on the shaft, but put it back on the lift assist. Because I'm telling you now, that lift assist lets go, winds back up into itself. Unless you're just really good at putting them things, dealing with that and things like cords on lawnmowers and stuff like that, you'll never get the damn thing back to where it was. And it takes a 5/64 Allen key And you don't have to take this nut all the way out. All you gotta do is loosen it, and it's got like a key slide. And then you slide it in, put it back on. I'll show it to you when I get it on here. Don't be scared to put some tension, some pressure on it. If you don't have a good set of Allen wrenches, go get a set, because it's gonna save you a lot. But just put that little key, it's got like a little keyway. And put that in there, that way you can do this. You can take these vice grips off. Take these vice grips off now, and it won't coil back into itself, because you're going to have to line this all up when you put that shaft in there. The shaft's got to go down through the center of this. So the best thing to do is line this up like it's going to go in there. If you don't, another tip, take a couple of electrical tape. It's cheap. Those of you that know me, I'll tell you, I got rolls and rolls of electrical tape, because I'll use it and then cut it off or whatever, and just put new on. And tape these wires together. You want to be careful with these wires, especially this brown one right here. You got a red and a black. That's your power wires for the power to your motor. Then you got a brown one. The brown one's for the part of your spot lock and everything. And then you got a black one, and that's for your transducer. So you want to be careful with these. Do not want to break them. And I usually just tape mine together. And you don't get too overzealous with the tape, guys. All you're doing is making it so it don't get hung on that lift assist. So I'm gonna take this tape. As soon as I get the head back on, all this tape's coming off. All I'm doing is making that so it go up through there easier, and hopefully not get hung up on anything. That's all I'm doing. Now, that lift assist on this trolling motor shaft, it's got a groove. You see, it's got a groove right here in this shaft, right there. That's where this lift assist is going to go. So you want to line that up so that lift assist metal strip goes down the shaft in that groove. That's the hard part. And you can fiddle fart with it a little bit. For me, this is going to be real hard because I'm not supposed to lift anything heavy. Over 10 pounds. I'm pretty sure this is over 10 pounds. So I got to be careful of what I'm doing here, so I'll hurt myself. Get that started. Oh, set it out for a minute. I think I'm lined up. Nope, I'm not. There. I almost need to go back a little bit with my boat. Need a little more room. Got to do it right there. I'm gonna get this in there and have to call it a night, call it a day. I think I got it this time. Or I don't. I tell you. One more time. Go to the break here. Hey, I think I'm in business. Yeah. Tell you, this thing ain't no joke. Cut the living piss out of you. Oh. The cables keep getting tangled. I think they'd slide right up in there, but they keep getting hung up. I don't understand why it keeps doing that. No reason why it should be doing that. Absolutely none. Getting hung up. There's nothing to get hung up on. That's what's got me. There it goes. There it went. That goes in there. Goes like it. Okay. I'll take that back. Use my little holder here. There we go. Back together. All right. Now we got to put the lift assist bracket back on. That goes. It's got a little thing that fits in there. As soon as I find the other piece, here it is right here. It goes like that. And then these 4 screws go in it. Bang. 1, 2. Don't over tighten these. I see people over tighten them and they got to buy a new collar. Tight's tight. It's plastic. Two, 3, here's the 4th one. Bang. All right, lift assist is put back together. All right, now I can put side covers back on. That one. This one I got the screws for the other one in it. There's this one. Big screwdriver. Big Phillips screwdriver. What'd I do with you? There you are. All 4 of these are the same. So. Side cover back on. Cosmetic. You don't really do anything. Just keep dirt and debris out. Directly falling in it. There we go. There's that. Now get to this here. Now we got to put her head back on. Wires go in through the top of the head, through the middle of the head here. And there's a screw right here. And that's going to go like that. And it's got a groove and it's got little fingers that go down in there so you get it lined up. Now here's where you take your tape off that I put on, because there's a bolt that goes through there, holds that head on to the shaft, and it's got to go between these wires. So you got to be able to separate the wires. Just take this little piece of electrical tape off I use to hold them together. Alright. And we can take our little nut here. Goes up from the bottom. Kind of just gotta move the wires around until they fall in place. There we go. All right. Now, $1 million question. Where'd the nut go? Lost a nut. I'm normally really good about keeping track of stuff. But when I took this apart, it fell out on me. And the nut went flying. So now I gotta find it. And Lord knows where it went, but I probably got one that fits it. I can just go get one. Now in the meantime, I can just turn this all the way around. Put that in there like that. I'm pretty sure I got one that'll fit it. Just got to get the darn screw back out. There we go. Bear back, I'm going to get that. All right, we got a nut. That can go back in there. And we got our nut. And we can tighten that on there. It don't have to be a nylon lock nut or anything, it's just a nut. The plastic will keep it from turning. It's grooved in there. So be careful again. You don't want to over tighten things. Once it cinches, stop. It's on plastic. It's not on metal. Okay, then you got all this up here. Okay, you got your power and ground that come off your control head, and you got your power and ground on there. Okay, so you just match them up. And it's got an insulator wire. So red to red, and it's got this insulation boot. I take and put it over it. There's another boot. Got another insulation boot here that comes on it. Black to black. Slide that on there. Put your insulation boot on there. Now, from the factory, that's all they do is just set right there. I like to take and put a little electrical tape on there so it don't slide. Is all I do. I'm not trying to tape it from getting wet or anything like that. But I like to put a little piece of electrical tape on each end. And you can wrap it all the way if you want. But I'm mainly doing it because I don't want that insulation to slide off that connector. Just like that. Just to make sure nothing can touch that hot. Or the negative. Just so that blue sleeve don't move. Okay. And I always leave a little extra tape. You can see it on there, how I got that tape, I left a little extra. And I just kind of fold it back over right on the end. That way when I get there, I can peel it back off when next time I have to do this. Okay, then you got your GPS. It has a fuse on it coming off your trolling motor head, and you got the one coming out of your shaft. Same deal, just put them together. This one you may have to cut the first time and add your own little wire connector. Just make sure you get one that's good and tight, because if it's loose at all, it can change how your spot lock performs. So you want to make sure it's tight. So after you stick it together, give it a little squeeze to it. It's not, yeah, see, I need to tighten mine. It's not length specific. So if you need to cut it, put another end on there, another connector, you can. All I'm doing is taking and crimping it down. So I've got a good snug connection. And then I'm gonna put tape on it. And all this is just to seal it. Make sure it don't come loose. A lot of times if your spot lock is acting goofy, pull the head off your trolling motor and check that wire. Check this brown wire. Because if this is loose, it'll make your spot lock not stay locked in. And then last, I don't have one on mine, but if I ever want it, hook your transducer connector together. I don't use mine, but I don't want it just flopping around either. And you just screw that together. And then when you got all this stuff hooked up, these wires kind of fold down in here. Plenty of room. Then you put this head back together. The wires they'll want to kind of lay in there the right way they want to lay in there. And I got my screws right here. I actually lost one of these too. I don't know when I lost it, a while ago. Tighten these down is all you do. Snug, don't overdo it. There again, you're screwing in the plastic, you're not screwing in the metal. Just snug them, that's all you gotta do. They won't back out. I worked on a guy's trolling motor for him. Oh, it was beginning of last spring. He got the bright idea of putting Loctite on these. He had to buy a new head. Couldn't get screws out and I break them. Alright, now, if I did everything right, and I didn't do everything right, you know why? This is one of the things you get into in your video. I forgot to put the lock collar on for my stop. So I got to take the head off. I can't edit that way on live. See, if I video and I just edit that out, you never know I've done that. But the nice thing about it is I'm pretty sure, and I got to take it completely apart. I got to do the wires, take the tape off. I like the way this one unscrewed anyway. So. I knew I was forgetting to step in there. I was going a little too fast. Now, I'm going to clean this out. Got this apart. Yeah, it wouldn't be a big deal. I think I can do it without taking the wires apart. I think I can spread it enough that I won't have to take the wires off of it. And it's got half, that goes down towards the motor. It's tougher spread than you think it is. There. And this can go back on there. This goes in there. This goes in there. This goes in there. There. Alright, put this back. Minor setback. There's that. This can go back. That's it. Put all this stuff back. Everything kind of wants to lay a certain way anyway. So it should pretty well go the way it wants. Snug is tight. Tell people all the time, tighten in this plastic. As soon as it snugs, go a quarter turn. That's it. Stop. Don't even try going no further. Use your fingertips. Don't use your whole hand. Well, you don't over tighten. So what happens is, it ain't that you strip it, you'll actually break where it screws in. All right, now it's all together. We can turn it on and see if it's going to work. Where's my remote? Oh, look at this. I even got a remote here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this down a little bit. That way I can make sure everything works. Alright, plug this in. Turn that on. Turn this on. Hey. We've got a trolling motor that works. About speed. Is it turning the right way? We're even turning the right direction. There we go. See, mess around here. There we go. Turning the right way. Turning the right way. And we're turning. Bang. Fixed. Of course, spotlight will not work in here. There we go. Turn the remote off. All done. I just cleaned up my mess. So when I'm able to go out on the water, that's done. Now, one thing I am going to change, Matt Wiley from Wild Willie's OCD, you know, he's a good friend and also a pro staff for him. I bring out some of his new stuff. I've got some new things, I just haven't got on the water. But he came up here this spring for a couple days, did some fishing. I always wanted to mount my transducer pole for my live scope on my trolling motor. Well, on the Trinova There's only one mount that you can do that with, and that's that double L. Double L seat makes it. And he had one on his, and he didn't like it. So I put it on mine, and because I had mine on a separate pole on the front, and you know, it was a great idea, but I don't like it. So before I go out, I'm going to fabricate a new setup for the front, or I'm going to just buy a beat down transducer mount. I'll probably make my own. Just it's so I can make one for 15 bucks. The only thing I haven't done is put this one little screw back in, and I was waiting until I knew everything worked to do this. And all it is that there's a little pin here that locks this trolling motor down when you drop it down, when you deploy it. And it's just a little spring-loaded deal that makes sure it engages. There it is. I'm ready to go. I could fish now. I just have to mount my transducer pole. What I'm going to do, rather than bolt it on, I'm going to weld it on. I had one before and I had it bolted on and it worked fine. And I had a lot of people copy it. Actually, it's on a friend of mine's boat now. It's actually my dad's old boat. He bought it from him, and then we ended up taking the mount. I took my mount off of here, but I didn't throw it away. I kept it. And I ended up giving it to him and putting it on his boat because he wanted it on his boat. So, and I made this other mount. So. But I've already got the mount made. Right here's the piece that I'm gonna put on the boat. I just got to put it on the boat. Rather than bolt it on, I'm gonna just weld it on. I'm gonna adjust it a little bit, but not a whole lot. And I may end up putting this back on. I don't know. I'll just put it back the way I had it. That's what I ought to do. Man, oh man, where's my... Alright. I put it back on. Alright. This goes on here. Like that. And this. There. Okay. Tighten all these. Kind of a pain in the butt. But, hey, it's part of the game. Okay. And this goes on there like this. Moves a little bit. So what I do is I take some JB Weld. It moves a little bit. You can see it down here how it moves a little bit. What I do is take some JB Weld and I put right here and right here. And that keeps this from rocking. You know, going down the road, because I mean that's a pretty good amount of movement down there, and that keeps that from rocking and moving. But that's it. It's done. It's back together. I just got to clean up all my tool mess here. But yeah, so a little clean up, a little JB Weld action, a little clean up. I got out, did something. I just sat in the house. I think sitting hurts me as bad as getting up and doing something. Of course, I'm not supposed to do anything. You know, I'm supposed to be really taking it easy. You know, I just had it done Friday, so 3 to 6 weeks for them healed up enough to go back to work. So I want to overdo it. I've been out here now for about an hour and a half. And I've pretty much just been standing. I ain't doing a lot of lifting, pulling, and tugging, and carrying on. So I think I'm going to end it there and let everybody know that I'll get some videos out when I can. But I got to get healed up first. Hopefully when they get the results back from what they did this time, from the biopsies they took when they did it, the biopsies come back, you know, benign and whatnot. And then if that's the case, I'll be back at it pretty quick. If it's not, I may be proverbial up a creek. But I don't want to. I don't even want to deal with if they don't come back by 9. There we go. I'm ready to do battle again. JB Well, I think I might save that for tomorrow. Well, thanks for, if you were in here or watching this, thanks for hanging out. When I get some fishing videos, we'll get them posted. I may do a live, just set chat type thing. Couple days here, next week and a half, 2 weeks or so, see how that goes. But talk about some baits and what the lake's doing, and we've had 2 pretty good hits to the community as far as I'm on the anglers page, we all talk and whatnot, and we lost a couple really good ones. So hopefully that nonsense is done. But unfortunately, Dana left us, and then a couple days after, wasn't too long after that, we lost Vern. But they'll be missed. The humor from Vern and Dana's reports, everybody really liked it. Of course, if you've been on Anglers, you know what Vern scope is. Everybody does. So they'll be missed. So take it easy, and until next time, see you later. Thanks for watching. Figure out how to stop this thing.